right. Hi guys. All right, so we're 15 minutes into the last one. I didn't see any comments, but if you have any questions or comments, do leave them down below. So where we left off, this is so weird. YouTube does this from time to time. I'll be talking and doing something, and I won't see any comments. But all right, we're live now. Let's try that again. Hello. Hey, Sean. How are you? That was some great content about South Africa. A lot of people actually appreciated that. Thank you very much. That was some great info. So we do now have our 10 bags, and my iron is hot. We're going to seal them up and then answer any questions you guys got about bagging food and whatnot. So we're going to open up this bag of the O2 absorbers. And once I open them up, I just like to pop them all in and get going. You do want to move relatively quickly when you open up the bag. Just want to put them in all of the bags here. Seal them up and answer any of your questions. So we're talking about the supply shortages, the ag news, about farmers having issues around the world between drought and rain over in Asia, for example. But the coffee plants and the sugar happening down in South America, Argentina, Brazil, and elsewhere. Extraordinarily cold weather making impacts and damage across all their plants. There's a website called spillthebeans.com that showed a bunch of brown and black plants of all the Arabica plants being damaged and killed. Why do you pack in groups of 10? O2 absorbers come in packs of 10. Yes, we buy from Pack Fresh USA. And for example, I like the smaller packs. Some come in 50 or 25. I like the smaller ones because it allows me to have smaller batches. So instead of having a big pack of 50 or 20, I'm trying to scramble, put them in as quickly as I can. This keeps them more viable. And I don't have so many bags stacked up on my counter, running the risk of them potentially falling over. So definitely recommend these smaller packs. It'll keep them fresh, and you're not having to rush even more while you're trying to fill up the bags. So tonight I'm just doing pasta, easy peasy. Again, we should be doing this on a weekly basis. Again, while food is available and somewhat affordable. I like to do this as often as I can because it makes it manageable. So I have, right now tonight, I have pastas of different varieties. And last night I packaged instant coffee, white sugar, and mashed potatoes. Now with sugar and salt, do not use O2 absorbers. It will make them hard in the bags. Barley on the way. Yeah, that was actually a nice surprise. On honeyville.com is a place out of Utah where they actually have flat rate shipping. So if you guys want to get some grains, stock up on the grains, definitely do that now. They have $8.99 and $11.99 flat rate shipping. So you can buy a 50-pound bag of grains and other dry goods that they have. And it's the most affordable shipping I've seen of lately. So definitely recommend honeyville.com. No affiliation, just it's a great company. I've been buying from them for years, and we just bought a 50-pound bag of barley. I'm trying to remember what other channels I mentioned it on. It might have been DLive. But so there's that one. There's 9, and here's 10. Here's what it looks like on the inside with the O2 absorber. So yes, I bought wheat berries from them. And get yourself a wheat grinder, and you can have fresh flour anytime you want. Now, you can buy flour, put it in bags, but the problem with that is you got to keep in a cool, dark, dry area and use it between 3 and 5 years, like max. With the wheat berries, they'll last you many, many, many years. And all you got to do is grind them, and you have fresh flour, and you're good to go. So like I said in the first part of the stream, I use 17-gallon totes. I put the label on. And why I use the 17-gallon totes is because it's manageable in size. It's not too heavy. And the great thing with these are if you go any bigger, it's going to be really heavy. These are much more manageable to carry and move around, especially if you're bagging for someone else, and I travel with these a bunch. So I take these, put them in, and I basically stop until I think it's too heavy. And that's it. It's that easy. Mylar bags, get a bunch of these. And the great thing about these is that once they're sealed, you have these little notches right here you can rip open. You don't need any scissors or knives. And once you rip it open, you can reseal it again with the heat iron. Keep everything nice and fresh. This is also great for if you want to bury certain items, say for like a time capsule. Put an O2 absorber in here, wrap it up really good, bury it vertically, and you're good to go. So Mylar bags are great. They're incredibly forgiving. You can transport them around. I love them. I've been using them for years. Good stuff. So I use Pack Fresh USA. Great company, easy to work with, and very consistent with their products. Do you avoid pointy pasta, reduced chance of puncture when the bag contracts? Depending on how much you pack the bags, always leave a little bit of room. If it's something smooth, for example, like, actually I think like the ZD, everything actually here is relatively pointy. Just don't overpack it too hard and you should be pretty good. And that's why another reason why I use the 5 mil bags. They're thicker than the 3 mil, much more forgiving. And just don't overpack them and you're in good shape. So now we got spiral pasta and shells, and that's it. So like I said earlier, if you're gonna pack sugar, salt, anything granular, do not use an O2 absorber. It will just, the heat, when it hits the oxygen, it gets really warm, and that heat is what's gonna unfortunately chunk up your salt and sugar and turn it into a brick. You can still eat it, just you gotta whack at it a few times to knock off a few parts of your sugar and salt, but to make life easy in the future, do not use O2 absorbers in your granular sugar or salt bags. So that's when the weird times you don't have to worry about O2 absorbers with sugar and salt. All right, so we got some spiral pasta, shells, and they're all done. Again, I'm trying to focus more on getting people motivated to pack their own food because of the shortages, and not just shortages that are happening and going to be amplified in the future, but the price of food, the inflation. So if they, as this things weren't already challenging enough as it is, you can get ahead of it by doing something now as affordable and easy as getting yourself some Mylar bags, filling them up with food, and getting yourself ready. Yeah, a lot of people are still emailing from the first stream. Now the comments are working now. I don't know why. YouTube, it's really weird. I'll go live and then everything looks fine. But sometimes I gotta hit refresh just for the comments to click through. So yeah, stock up on your basic essentials. And wood, screws, nails. Just think your basics. Oh, and clothing. That was another thing we talked about. Clothing. Again, with the supply shortages of fabric, and not just fabric, but the backup at the ports all around the world. They're having issues trying to offload stuff here. Not enough workers. So again, socks, just think about the basics. Socks, underwear, fabric, how to mend things, sewing skills, needle thread. Just think about the basics. If you look at, there's a fun video we put together. We went to Sturbridge Village in Massachusetts. And it's this living museum outdoors with the buildings and the people. Everyone dresses in period piece. Everyone works in their period pieces with those materials. The blacksmiths, the tin men, women working outside in the gardening, the mills. It gives you a really good idea of how hard people worked back in the day with what they had. So from sun up to sundown, these guys were working their tails off to make sure they had food, water, and whatever it is they needed or had to fix. So it was a really good video. When is enough enough? You know, that's a good question. That's something I've asked several times over the years. I want to say if you have no more room to put anything that you're going to need in the future, maybe. That's a darn good question. I don't know. Between knowing what we know from this multi-cycle grand solar minimum and all the resources, we talk about all the channels that people can go to and learn more about it. Suspicious Observers, Adapt 2030, Ice Age Farmer. Each channel has their own niche on the history and the information, not just what it is, but to learn about it and how to get ready for it. So it's a combination. It's knowing your history, making sure to learn from it, and not just taking care of yourself, but being an asset to others in the future who are going to be in a bad place. You can say, hey, I'll trade you seeds for some supplies, or hey, I could teach you a skill or knowledge for some that you may have or know. The best way to describe it is like seasons. Everything's cyclical. Spring, summer, fall, winter, and so on. And with this, with the GSM and everything else that has been going on, it's almost like we've entered into winter. It's going to be challenging times ahead of us. Shorter growth seasons. The intensification of activity on our planet between the earthquakes, volcanoes, mass migration, all that's happening right now. And just do the best you can to stay ahead of the information and get ready for it. What do we got? Is it worth establishing a cache at a storage unit? You can do whatever you want. I mean, honestly, you can get as creative as you want. If you can work with other people and make these things happen, absolutely. Some people have a point A and a B, like their home base and a bug out location, and they'll have caches along the way, dotted on certain roads, back roads that are away from the highways or away from the main roads, which is really smart. That's careful planning. Nested Faraday cages, for example, galvanized garbage tin lined with cardboard. You can store electronics in there. Means of communication, ham radio. You can make your own. Supplies, medical supplies, depending on your situation. Start with yourself and then go there. Go elsewhere. Go to your family members and help them out and store up what they need. A company that I'm a big fan of, and I'm so happy I discovered them last year, was EMPShield.com. It is by far the most affordable way to store electronics in a case or event of an EMP or CME. Either it's man-made or natural. You're going to be in a great place where you don't have to buy all this raw material and build your Faraday cage. Make sure it's grounded. EMPShield will help protect your home, your vehicles, your RVs, your boats, trucks, anything that you have. And it's affordable. I think with the coupon code TalkwithTiffany, it's like under $330 for this device. It takes less than 10 minutes, maybe 5 if you know what you're doing. And they have a channel on YouTube to watch demos. There's one vehicle they did in definitely under 10 minutes, but it's really fast and easy. But you're grounded and you're hardened. So in the event of even lightning strikes for your home, you're protected. All 3 phases of an EMP, 1, 2, and 3, or including a CME from the sun. Just like we had from the back end of the sun, they just threw off a flare, I think 3 or 4 days ago now. Check out Suspicious Observers. They also have an app so you can get alerts on your phone. I think it's like $5 a year for the subscription. It's free, or you can spend $5 for the. I actually think it's $3 for the alerts. What is that? Is it worth establishing cache? Fun factoid I learned this week: this drought is longer and more widespread than the Dust Bowl. You know, I want to say I agree with you. It's the changing of the jet streams with our magnetosphere, the way it's affected from the sun. So normally you have this predictable jet stream, and now it's just so much more severe with the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows that where there are droughts or more severe droughts, like out west with the ranchers, especially out in Montana, for example, with the wheat growers. So you have ranchers having a hard time. There's one channel I follow. I remember the acronym OWL. It's Our Wyoming Life. And I've been watching them to get an idea of what they're going through as ranchers. And this guy just recently is transporting 2,000 gallons of water every day out to their cattle because the grass is so short that it's even putting a test to their wells that they have. So between that, I say get as creative as you can between EMPShield, keeping the lights on, or buying you time between plan A and B. If you have freezers full of food, a lot of people bought extra freezers last year to stock up on meats, for example, when there's all these shortages. So yeah, that's it. So check out the videos of packing food and the articles. That'll give you really good idea of what's going on economically, politically, weather-wise. Again, if you have any ideas or information you want to get to me for other shows I could put on the recorded ones, email me at TalkwithTiffany@protonmail. I love the videos, the pictures you guys send, the questions, all the clarification. So we got, I think we're all caught up there with the comments. But again, every Monday at 6 o'clock, I want to do something live. Either it's bagging food or working on projects, anything like that. And trying to hopefully motivate you guys to show you how easy it is to do this. Gardening. Check out my other videos about that. We have bagging food with Mylar bags, mason jars. We go over everything, dehydrating our food, all that good stuff. Let's see, thanks for the info. Yeah, no, you got it. In fact, I'm going to now bag some peas that we ran through the dehydrator yesterday. Let me see if I can get a shelf up for you guys. You can buy frozen vegetables, run them through your dehydrator, and look like this. These are a bunch of peas. I'm trying to go more for peas. These are really good with protein and other minerals. So I'm trying to find a balance in nutritional health as well. So whenever you store food, think about your nutrition. Store vitamins, supplements, all that good stuff, and then just rotate them. So here's our 17-gallon bin that we're going to fill up, top it, and then done for that. And then wait for the barley to come in and other grains. So again, email me with any thoughts, ideas, things you want to see in the next show. I'm going to put one out tomorrow. Normally it's Mondays and Fridays, but I like the live shows. I like the feedback and ideas and your comments, especially when things are happening around the world that I can't find all the information all at once. So whenever you guys submit something, I love that. I do appreciate it. Things that are happening in South America with the riots and the food. If you hear anything else, please email me or leave it in the comments section. I love to throw that into the next show. All right, I think we're all caught up here. You guys are great. I do appreciate the feedback. All right, I think it's everything. All right, so you guys be well. Email me if you have any ideas. Put some comments down below with any ideas or things that are working out for you, what you guys are trying. Again, it's really good and important to help out one another right now. So we can have more people in a stronger, better place going forward, which is really important. All right, so you guys be well. I want to pack all this away. This is actually not that heavy. And that's it. Get my lid. You guys can do this. All right, you guys be well, and I will see y'all tomorrow.